Hello, Quimantich9 here with another review for Rush Hour, the TV series, Episode 6. So, after our character development episode for Episode 4 and our plot episode for Episode 5, what do we get now? A bit of a disappointment, actually. And when I say that, it's not really like a horrible episode, it's just, comparatively, it felt like we dipped back into the earlier episodes, and it's like, the episode is entirely episodic. It doesn't really have a connection to anything. And it's not bad, it's just alright. The story basically involves drug cartel, a drug in a high school, and Lee and Carter need to go undercover, as teachers in the high school to, track what's going on down. And it's alright, the story's... I have to admit, though, the whole high school part, it does do other stuff in the episode, but the high school part is by far the weakest. I don't know. I didn't particularly enjoy that part. It's like, I don't know, the first half of the episode is about that. And just, I don't know, it wasn't all that interesting, and it's weird, because this part that was advertised as, Lee is teaching high school girls to dance, and it was just and this is something I felt when I watched the preview last week. It's like, it's kind of weird seeing a man in his 30s doing the tango with underage girls. It's like, I know the actresses are probably all in their 20s, but still, it just, I don't know, it's just seemed kind of weird. That whole little part just seemed weird. Once they got out of that, it was a lot better. It's just, that part was weird. The writing is generally fine. It's certainly passable for a single episode, though I'm a little confused why we didn't even get a hint of plot. Usually when they do stuff like this, they'll drop some hint or say something about the plot. Oh yeah, there's a Chinese triad that's moving in on this territory. It's moving into the city. What should we do? Let's completely ignore it. That will make the problem go away. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, it's weird. It's like, Episode 5 was pretty good. I really liked Episode 5. I thought the episode was great. And then Episode 6 is just like, it's more of the misadventures of Lee and Carter, and you get what you get, really. Humor in this episode is surprisingly lacking. I mean, really, I have to say, the funniest part of this episode was Carter's cousin. I still can't remember his name. Gerald, I think? It's something like that, but his cousin... This episode has very little humor, which seems kind of surprising. Even the plot-heavy Episode 5 still had quite a bit of jokes in it. There was a lot of humor in Episode 5, despite the fact that it had some serious, moments. And it was just like, plot! It still manages to get some laughs. In this episode, I don't think I actually laughed in this episode, which I think may be one of the reasons why I didn't enjoy it as much. I didn't really find anything that entertaining. Once Carter's cousin comes in, he's funny. Honestly, like I thought his character, once he came in like Episode 2, I thought his character would be something of a drag, something like The Load. But honestly, he's helped out, and he's pretty funny. And to be honest, he's one of the only funny things in this episode. I mean, the episode itself has a lot... It takes itself pretty seriously, which... kind of surprising for the last few episodes, because it's managed to... The show so far has managed to put some humor in every situation, and managed to throw in jokes. And the jokes really don't come in this episode until near the end. Which is kind of weird. Which I think... Because usually I laugh at some point during the episode. This one I was just like, yeah. Which is a little disappointing. The action, pretty good. I have a couple decent action scenes. And shockingly, the slow motion isn't as bad. No, don't get me wrong, they still overuse the crap out of the slow motion, but there was this one fight that actually, like, I said this before, when you use slow motion, you're drawing attention to a specific action. And you're basically making everything about it more visible. It's supposed to make it more dramatic. You take a punch and just, you get punched, but in slow motion, it's like, you'll usually see like spit or blood or a tooth fly out, just like, glasses fly. But if you overuse it and you use it in a scene, in a move that's a little bit awkward in any way, it just accentuates it. You have to make sure the choreography is good. And there are a couple moments, I think there were just 2 moments where if they didn't use any other slow motion, I would have been okay with it. I'm shocked that this episode actually managed to do a couple moments of slow motion. Even though I said this before, slow motion just axed. Just no more slow motion at all. If you're going to use it in the right moments. And this episode did it a couple times. And then it used it a whole bunch more and kind of ruined the effect. But it's still, and there's a decent action sequence, especially when Lee has to deal with weights, and we get some wacky stuff with him like tossing weights on a guy and stuff while he's fighting, and the actions that specific action scene was actually pretty good, except for the overused slow motion. I don't know. That's really all I have to say about that. There's something I need to talk about, and something that's really annoyed me when I was watching the episode. There's this new character that I don't really believe they introduced very much. She's like a forensics expert, a doctor or something, and she's this just sort of like ditzy blonde character, and I think she's so obnoxious. She's so obnoxious. I'm liking everyone else. Dee Dee actually got some stuff done. I'm enjoying that. But this character, I don't know what the hell is up with her character. She comes in and, I don't know, I think she has a thing for Lee. I think. When he's, patching up after a fight, she's just there. And even Carter's just like, what are you doing here? And that's echoing my statements. I'm like, what is she doing here? Like, it's not like she hasn't been in this show at all at this point. She just comes out of nowhere, and she really serves no purpose from a narrative standpoint and from a in-show standpoint. From a, Watsonian Doyleist. Arthur Conan Doyle. How can I forget Arthur Conan Doyle? From a Doyle's perspective, she basically is entirely redundant because the role she serves of just telling people some stuff is a role that Dee Dee already fills. And from a, Watsonian perspective, she's like, we haven't dealt with forensics at all, really. Any important stuff has been dealt with Carter and Lee and Dee Dee. I mean, they're the ones who, do the detective work. So I don't know what her character is. I mean, if you're going to take a character similar to this, I mean, in Psych, they had a guy who was the coroner, I believe. But he was, but whenever they needed information, they would go down to his place with all the dead bodies, and they would talk to him there. And she just kind of pops up. I think she only pops up like twice in the episode, but it felt like 2 times too much. It was just really confusing. Like, everyone else is doing fine in this episode. The acting is good, and then all of a sudden she just comes out of nowhere, and it's like, I'm confused. Her character didn't get any real introduction other than saying, "Oh, hi, look at me, I'm the new character." it kind of feels like she was just shoved in last minute, because the scene she's in, she doesn't contribute to. And she doesn't contribute to the conversation at all. She doesn't contribute to the story. She doesn't matter in the story. She doesn't offer any insight that helps. You know, she doesn't do any job that's, you know, significantly important. And it felt like she was tossed in. It almost felt like a producer was like, you need to have another female character in here. And it's just like, okay. And then they popped one in. And to be perfectly honest, I want her character out of this. It's like, if you're going to introduce her, if she's going to stick around, her character needs to be developed. We've gotten development for Lee and Carter, and even Dee Dee, Carter's cousin. I think his name is Gerald, but I wouldn't say he's gotten development, but we've gotten used to his character. This chick, I don't know why she's in this show. Like, everyone, even to the douchebaggy cop guy, I can know why they're in it, and it's like, I don't know. I'm hoping that if she stays, her character grows on me, because I really would hate to have this character who just pops in going, hi, I'm just supposed to be goofy and quirky, and that's literally all there is to my character. I really wouldn't want that, because that's not funny, and it's not entertaining at all. It's just distracting. Overall, though, this episode, it's fine. It's alright. It's a bit of a letdown after episodes 4 and 5. I really liked episodes 4 and 5. 5 probably had the best plot of the entire season so far. And then episode 6 is just like, you know, it's like, you tried. You get that little, you tried star. It's certainly not horrible, and it's certainly not going to make me quit watching the show. But it was alright. I'm really hoping next week is better. Really. So yeah. If you want to watch my review for episode 5, you can watch that here. And as soon as I get it posted, I'll be posting the review for episode 7 here. So thank you for watching, and tune in next week when I'll have the review for episode 7 posted.